Hey, yo, 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 it's the truck driver. Happy Sunday. Want to talk about Ferguson, Missouri, shooting of this 18-year-old black guy by a cop. I think the whole thing is completely out of control. I've watched the media for 2 weeks sit there and spin this thing up. Out of town agitators come in and spin this thing up. The race baiters come in and spin this thing up. And now you've got the governor of the state of Missouri. You've got Obama's leash dog, Eric Holder, down there spinning things up. We know that a black 18-year-old person was shot by a cop. We know that some of the witnesses that sat there and said it was the cop's fault have already proven to be liars. What bothers me most about this is the race baiters, the media types, the leftist, socialist, NAACP types, even a black senator down there are screaming, convict this cop. And I keep asking myself, this is America. Whatever happened to the rule of law? You are innocent until proven guilty. Now, tomorrow, which is Monday, this 18-year-old kid's going to be buried. One of the biggest race baiters in the United States, Al Sharpton's going to give a eulogy. And I imagine after that, there'll be a little bit of BS flying around again. And oh, let's not forget, Trayvon's mommy and daddy are going to be there at the funeral, along with Al Sharpton. Now, there's a combination if ever I've seen one. The cop has already been convicted in the media. He's been convicted by the blacks. He's been convicted by everybody. But the grand jury, which decides whether or not to bring charges, has just been convened and is starting to go over all the material, starting to call people in for testimony under oath. And they probably won't come to any kind of conclusion till maybe the end of October. I'm thinking for political reasons between the blacks and the media, this grand jury may be for political purposes, bring charges against the cop just to cover their backsides. Even if the cop is innocent, even if it's what they call a good shoot. But they're going to try him one way or the other, or Eric Holder and the DOJ are going to go down there just like they did after Trayvon Martin's shooting and try and go after a civil rights violation. Well, if you look back at the Trayvon Martin incident, even the FBI down there in Florida when Trayvon was killed sat there and said, no, there was no malice here. And Zimmerman didn't even use stand your ground as a defense. But I'm thinking if they don't bring this cop up on some charges, we're going to have another Watts riot. Why? Because that's the way the libtards are. It's terrible that an 18-year-old kid got shot. But also, has been proven and documented, kid's got a rap sheet on him from priors. Violence, burglary, whatever, strong arming. He's not such a lily dude. And the people he's hanging around with, this one kid that's supposedly A witness has an open warrant on him. So much for credibility. With that being said, being done, we will attempt to allow justice to run its course if we can keep the politics out of it. And on this Sunday, I also hear there are going to be 3 representatives from the White House, from Obama's office, down there at the funeral. I find this rather odd. And why do I say that? About a month ago, the highest ranking officer, who was a general officer, was shot and murdered in Afghanistan. Nobody from the White House, and this is since Vietnam, he's the highest ranking officer. Nobody from the White House, from the staff, bothered to greet his body at Dover Air Base or at his burial. Now, I'm not talking about the Pentagon and the chiefs of staff. They were there. I'm talking about Obama's office. He can send 3 representatives to a black kid's funeral and won't do anything and didn't do anything for a general who died in the line of service. That tells you what kind of person Obama is. He's a racist. He's against our military. So while everybody's feeling sorry for the death of this 18-year-old kid, and trust me, as a parent, nobody ever wants to bury their own child, I keep asking, how was he brung up, or was he drug up? I don't have the answers. I just ask the questions. Obama's out playing golf. The world's burning up with ISIS and everybody else. But they can send 3 of Obama's personal staff members to a funeral, but couldn't to a general's funeral? That's how screwed up America is today, folks. You need to wake up and smell the coffee. Truck driver's opinion.